Hello, kindergartners. It is Ms. De Silva, your school counselor. Thank you so much for joining me for another lesson today. We are going to continue focusing on Career Development Month. So remember, for the whole month of November, we're talking about careers. That means we're talking about all the different types of work that people do and thinking about what you might want to be when you grow up. So if you remember last week, we read a story called ABC, What Can She Be? And we were able to learn about so many different types of work that people choose to go into. And we went through every letter in the alphabet. Today, I want to talk to you more about types of work that community helpers do for us. So we're going to go through this story first, and then we'll have a couple things after the story. So, helpers in your neighborhood. So, in this story, we're going to learn about different people and the types of work that they do, and the different places that they do this work within the community. So the community is the area where we live. That's considered our community. And so these jobs are community helpers. They're things that give back to our community and help our community run smoothly and for everything to go well for us while we live here. Many people work in our neighborhoods. They help us every day. So first, we're going to have different students from around the world that are going to tell us about different community helpers from where they're from. So first we have Hoshi. He lives in Japan. He says, in my neighborhood, the mail carrier brings letters. He takes new letters to the post office. This is Mooney. He lives in India. I go to the library in my neighborhood. The librarian helps me find new books. This is Mateo, and he lives in Chile. In my neighborhood, police officers keep us safe. At the police station, they talk to people who need help. And this is Ava. She lives in Angola. In my neighborhood, firefighters put out fires. At the fire station, they get the trucks ready for next time. And this is Emma. She lives here in the United States. There is a restaurant in my neighborhood. The waiter brings us food. Pizza is my favorite. Yum. And this is Lucas. He lives in Brazil. At my school, the teacher knows a lot. She helps us read and write. And this is Kate. She lives in the United Kingdom. We go to the hospital when we're sick. Doctors and nurses help us get better. People work hard in our neighborhoods. They help us stay safe and happy. So this is something extra that you could do later if you would like, where you draw your neighborhood and think about what helpers do you see when you go out. So it might be some of the helpers that we just talked about, like doctors, nurses, mail carriers, policemen, firefighters. And they added some more on here that were not in the story. There's mechanics that help fix our cars, taxi drivers that drive us around if we don't have a car, a park ranger. I don't know if you've ever seen a park ranger, but they help keep our parks safe and clean. And then down here at the bottom, we have bus driver. So they take people where they need to go around the city. And then finally, a recycling center worker. So all that trash and recycling that we put out in the bins on the curb, there still has to be people there that take care of that once it's taken away in the big truck. All right, so that's the end of our story. So hopefully you enjoyed learning about different community helpers. I'm going to talk to you about a couple more types of work. And what I'm going to show you is we're going to have different planets. And these different planets represent how different, we might see different jobs if they were to be on different planets, because people go into jobs that they're good at. They do things that they enjoy, and that it's important that we have a job that we like doing, right? So let's start with planet R. This is called the realistic planet. And this is where we have the doers. These are people that are really hands-on, that like to fix things. Maybe they like to just really like get their hands dirty and get the job done. So an example of this would be construction workers. They are from, the realistic planet, because they're doers. So construction workers, they help keep our roads maintained. Even the big road, it's called the runway at the airport where the airplanes fly. When they take off and when they touch down, they would maintain those, because we have to make sure the roads are smooth and they don't have like holes in them. And they even paint the lines that are on the on our different roads and streets. And sometimes they might even plant the plants that go next to the roads that they construct. Those are just a few examples, but there's people that work in construction and do hands-on, that hands-on work all over the place, for building buildings, houses, and lots of other needs for construction. So if you really like building things, then you might really enjoy working in construction. And then we have planet I. These are for the thinkers, people that really like math and science. And so an example of a job on planet I would be veterinarians. So veterinarians have to know a lot about science and enjoy science, but what they do is they treat animals that are sick, or maybe they're injured, and they try to examine the animals to see what's wrong with them. And they can treat all different types of animals. And then we have planet A. This is our artistic planet. These are for creators, people that are really good at like starting with something or nothing and creating something. So something artistic. And that could be, an example could be a hairdresser. This would be a job on planet A, our artistic planet, because hairdressers have to really use their different skills to put together hairstyles that their customers would like, right? All right, so those are just a few examples of different types of work where people get to really focus on the things that they enjoy doing or that they're good at, right? So I would like you to do a quick activity. And what you're going to need is just a piece of paper and something to draw with. So you could have colors if you want, but if you don't have colors, that's fine. You can just use a pencil. And I want you to take your paper and just fold it in half. Okay, So I folded my paper in half. So now it's like this. And I'm gonna make my screen bigger so you can see what I'm doing. So I folded my paper in half and I'm gonna draw a line right down the middle where I folded it. So there's my line right down the middle. So now I have 2 equal halves on my paper. And then on one side, I'm just gonna draw a smiley face, just like in that image I just showed you. And on the other side, I'm gonna draw a sad face. So I have a smiley face on one side and a sad face on the other. And here's what I would like you to do. I would like you to draw on the happy face side things that you like doing, activities or subjects, both in school and outside of school. And you can draw lots of different pictures and just think about all the things that you like doing. So if I were to draw something for things that I like, it would be being around kids. It would be going to school, cooking, helping other people, being outside, going to the beach. So of course, as a school counselor, I'm not really going to the beach, right? But it's still important that I know all the things that I like doing, and I really like my job. And so that's why I want you to start thinking about that. What do you like doing? Do you like fixing things? Do you like creating things? Do you like art? There are lots of different examples. And then when you're done with that side, you're going to go to the other side where you have your sad face. And I just want you to draw things that you don't like doing. These are your dislikes. So if you really don't like being outside, or maybe you really don't like being around a lot of people, or you really don't like getting dirty, then if you really don't like getting dirty, then it would be kind of hard to be a construction worker, maybe, right? But you could maybe get used to it. So I just want you to draw things that you don't like. So on the happy face side, your likes, and on the sad face side, your dislikes. Okay? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me for another lesson. You guys are doing a great job, and I will see you next week. Bye.